Now let's take a look at one of the web service examples. You'll find the examples located in the FGL-dir demo directory, and in the web services subdirectory you'll find three different example applications: Calculator, Echo, and File Search. We're going to take a look at Calculator. So if I cd into that directory, I'll see there's a README file which will again instruct you on how to use the demo, and there's both a client and a server subdirectory. I'm going to go into the server directory first, and what I'm going to want to do is start up the server so that the service is listening for the requests. Then I'm going to open another terminal window and go into the client directory and run that client program, which lets me make requests to our service. So the first thing I want to do is go into the server directory, and I've gone ahead and ran the make file. So I first ran make and then make run, which will go ahead and start up the service, and you can see that the server is listening. Now here I have the service running on port 8091. You can modify what port the service is listening on just through the make file that's included in that subdirectory. So now I need to open another terminal window so that I can start up the client. And you can see the client directory also. I've gone ahead and compiled these, but I'll again type make, and that would go ahead and compile all the files if they hadn't been compiled already. And now make run. And now you can see here the little calculator demo. Let me just close these out so we can really look at this. That is running, and when we make a request, it's going to be requesting the data from the web service. So the server side has the actual functions that are going to go and do the plus, minus, multiply, or divide operation for us. So let's just put in 4 plus 5, and we'll choose plus, and it's telling us that the asynchronous connection failed. What that means is that the client cannot find the server. The client can't find the service. What might be going on is the port number. Since the port number was changed on the server side, weren't sure that we updated our compilation of our client in order to find that web service at that port. So let's take a look at that. And we'll look at that by closing out the client and coming back into the client here, and let's make clean. Make. It looks like we do have a problem here because it's looking on port 8090. We don't want that. So let's look at the make file. Let's see if we can find, there it is. We need to set that to 8091. Now let's make clean and make run. And now here's our demo running again. If we do 4 plus 5, we get the response here. Now if we look at our server side, our terminal where our window where our server is running, let's just move these over. We can see that the request was processed. So let's try multiplying those, dividing, subtracting. And as we are hitting any of those operations that are part of that service, we're seeing the request process there. Now to further understand the XML that's being passed back and forth between the web service and the client, let's go ahead and set the FGL-WS debug environment variables to 3. And I've done that in the make file. I've just added this here, and this allows us to see what XML is sent and what XML is received as we communicate with the web service. So over here I'll put in my operands, and we can see over on the server side here that here's the XML that's passing the 44 and the 25, and the function that's being called is the add information, and you can see that it's embodied in the SOAP request. And then down in the receiving information, we have our response variable value. The R tagged value is 69, which is our result. And as we go about using the different operations in this web service, this particular environment variable allows us to see, again, the XML that's being passed and the XML that's being returned back. And that's how that calculator demonstration works. In the next videos, we'll take a look at creating the calculator service and also creating a client that can consume the operations available in a service.